jolt and then you'll die.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, student. How are you today? I hope everything is well and healthy. Before starting today's lesson, it would be nice if we pray first. I ask for help from the one who wants to lead the prayer. Okay, Tudino, please to lead the prayer. Thank you very much, Dino, for leading today's prayers. So, I will take the attendance list student. Is anyone absent today? Oh, everyone is present, yeah? Okay, good. Well, before lessons begins, guess what we are going to learn today? Yes, that's true. In this meeting, we will discuss about the role of economic actors in economic activities. Well, in the material achievement indicators, the role of economic actors in economic activities, students expected to know about anything. The first, the role of household, companies, governments, and foreign sectors in economic activities. The second, circular flow diagram. Therefore, I use three graphic-based learning media, namely pictures, charts, and diagrams. Okay, let me learn about it. The role of household are economic activities actors. Economic activities carried out by household, there are production activities, consumption activities, and exchange activities. Goods or devices that will be consumed by household can be partially self-produced, such as living, drinking, inhabiting the house, and using transportation devices. Then household can also do production activities such as growing vegetable, eating fish, and making tempeh. Therefore, almost all goods and devices required by household are obtained through exchange activities such as buying rice, salt, sugar, tea, renting a house, and buying a bicycle. The next slide. The company's role as an economic activity performance. The company's role as an economic activities performer is a manufacturer, is a distributor, is a development agent, and is a user of production factors. As a manufacturer, producing and producing manufacturers, goods including those sold abroad. As a distributor, its activities distribute goods to consumers. As a development agent, its activities increase production through research and development. And as well as being a user of production factors, mean producing goods and devices to meet the needs of everyday consumers. We can see in the pictures one example of the company's role as an economic activity performance, namely the company produce goods of necessity. Well, after economic activity, of course it is necessary to regulate this economic activity. Well, who regulates this economic activity? Yes, that's true. There is a government. The government's role as an economic activity performance divided into three types. The first, acting as a household. The second, performing government duties. The third, acting as a company. The first, acting as a household, divided into two activities: conducting consumption activities, for example, using office equipment, paper, stationery, and vehicles. Conducting exchange activities, for example, purchasing office equipment and stationery. The second, performing government duties is providing public infrastructures, for example, building roads, bridges, port, and airport. And then the third, acting as a company, divided into two activities: conducting production activities, for example, producing teakwood, sugar, sheep, medicine, fertilizer, and oils. Conducting investment activities, for example, buying machinery, equipment, and raw materials. And then the next slide. The role of foreign sectors is economic activity actors. The role of overseas sectors as the perpetrators of economic activities is it as consumers, as manufacturers, as investors, and as experts. As a consumers, its activities consume goods and services from the domestic community through import activities from Indonesia, so that Indonesia gets foreign exchange. As a manufacturer, its activities provide goods or services to the domestic community through export activity to Indonesia, so that Indonesia pays the dividend. As an investor, its activities are investing in Indonesia, and as well as being an expert, its activities meet the need of export needed by Indonesia. Next, we go into various chart of interaction of economic actors, divided into two types. The first, economic interaction of two sectors, what we call it cross economy. The second, economic interaction of three sectors, what we call it open economy. And then we go into two-sector economic interaction chart. On the E line reflect that the consumer household sectors will sell production factors that include land, capital, labor, and expertise to the company sectors in order to earn income. In this case, the company will provide a company for the production factors provided by the household sector that includes wages, salaries, and rent on the B line. Then, automatically households have income that can be spent on the company sector in the form of the purchase of goods and services on the C line. Furthermore, such as goods and services will be handed over by the company sector to the consumer household sector on the D line. And then we go into three sectors economic interaction chart. In the economy of three sectors, households remain consumers for companies, so that households buy goods and services from the company. The company sectors should provide sectors remuneration reconciliation to households such as in the form of salaries, wages, interest, rent, and dividend. So there is a revenue stream from the company sector to the household sector. The existence of the government role in the three sectors economy makes the interaction between economic actors more. Line 4 and 5 show government incomes come from tax paid by household and company. Meanwhile, the activity shown in line 3 is intended for households in the form of transfer subsidies such as cash direct assistance, and line 6 is intended for the company sectors in the form of purchasing goods or services that are government expenditures. Now, from today's lesson, it can be concluded that every economic actor has their respective roles, where these roles balance one another. So, this economic activity will run smoothly if the roles of the respective economic actors run well. Well, after we studied the material, the role of economic actors in economic activities, now it's time for us to have a quiz, student. I will give you some quizzes, then we will immediately collect it. Then I give you an assessment. I share, yes, student. Everything is finished, yeah? Well, next we will discuss it. So, we can collect it first. Then we discuss the problem together. Okay. The first, internal factors that affect the level of household consumption are A. Development of custom, B. Advances in the technology and culture, C. A culture that is increasingly advanced and developing. And D. The need and drive to achieve a better life. Can anyone answer? What the answer? Yes, that's true. The answer is D. The need and drive to achieve a better life. Why is that the answer? Because everyone consumes to meet their needs and the driving factors. The next quiz. The second, below are included natural production factors as follows, except E. Lead, B. Coal, C. Land, and D. Labor. Of course, the answer is D. Labor, because others are classified as natural factors of production. The next quiz. The third, factors that influence consumption are A. Technology, B. Production cost, C. Economy problem, D. Income. Come on, can anyone answer? Yes, that's true. Income ya. Income greatly affects consumption activity. The next quiz. The fourth, economic actors who play a role in regulating economic activities in a country are called households. A. Consumers, B. Producer, C. Government, and D. Overseas. Government. Yes, that's true. The answer is C. The next quiz. From the above statement, which one is a derivative production factor? Can anyone answer? What is derivative production? Yes, that's true. Derivative production factors are production factors that come from one ability or capital. The answer is D. Capital and entrepreneurship, where entrepreneurship is the energy that later manages the company. The next quiz. The sixth, below are include consumption goals. A. Doing business. B. Reducing unemployment. C. Take advantage of the production. D. Spending or reducing the value of goods and devices. Come on. Previously we studied before. What the answer? Yes, that's true. The answer is D. expanding or reducing the value of goods and devices, because doing business, reducing unemployment, take advantage of the production, include production cost. The next quiz. The 7. Activities to distribute goods and devices so as to add value to an item. A. Production. B. Distribution. C. Consumption. And D. Economy. Yes, that's true. Distribution. The answer is B. Distribution. The next quiz. The 8. Below there is not included in the activities carried out by a production household, namely A. Producing goods and devices. B. Paying tax to the government. C. Purchase factors goods. And D. Receive wages and capital interest. Come on. The answer is B. Receive wages and capital interest. That's true. Because it's part of the consumer's household. And the last quiz. The 9. Following are the production factors needed by producers to produce goods and devices, except A. Natural. B. Capital. C. Labor. And D. Level of education. What are the production factors needed? The first, natural production factors. The second, capital production factors. The third, labor production factor. And one more, entrepreneur production factors. Yes, that's true. So, that what is not the answer is D. Level of education. Well, how about student? Can be understood, yeah? I hope everyone continues to practice at home and learn the role of economics so that they understand better the subject matter for today. Okay, that's all for our meeting for topic for today. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.